KM Radio, where we go ham. It's your boy Tony G, Sportsbook, Big Lou. What's going on? A lot to talk about. Basketball, got a lot to talk about. We got the game tonight. You know, we got the game 6. But let's break down. Let's talk about game 5 or game 4.
Yeah.
Well,
game
4 when they made it 2. Yeah, 4-4.
Game 5 tonight.
Game 6 is tonight.
That was game 5. Game 6 tonight, and if not tonight, then game 7.
Right. Game 5 was Saturday.
Right.
Game
6 will be tonight, and then game 7 will probably
right. And game 4 was interesting. So game 4 was 109-103.
Mm-hmm.
They brought out Kareem, Oscar. They brought all the guys from the championship team, or everybody that was alive.
Mm-hmm.
And so it made me really think, before we get into all of what happened on that game, this is a big deal for both franchises.
Right.
You know what I mean? I wish I could say, you know, I really want the Suns, or but after watching that, and I mean, they both. I mean, it would be important in both cities.
Right.
Did you see the crowd outside of Milwaukee?
Oh yeah, it was incredible. It was incredible. It was incredible. It was like it was right outside the arena. I was like, oh my goodness. But
thousands of people, and you're like, holy cow, these people are. Yeah, same thing in Phoenix. I mean, everybody's so hyped up about it, and it's such a great thing, because it isn't the normal. You know what I mean? It is different people involved, which is a great thing. It seemed like, and that was, like I said, that was game 4 when Milwaukee tied it up. You know, Paul George has had not terrible games, but not at the level that I was expecting.
Right. It seems like he's having a certain type of decline. Now, is that fatigue, or is it the pressure weighing on him? Because I was very I was like, wow, that game 5. I mean, that game, because I said, okay, Phoenix are at home, their shots going to be on, everything's going to be in their favor. But I mean, they can't do anything with Giannis. And then, like we said it. We said Giannis is going to get his.
Absolutely.
It is his supporting cast are going to be the X factor. And both Drew, which is outstanding, and Middleton showed up, and they played a excellent game. They came and played. I have to admit that Milwaukee shocked me, because I thought they were going to bring a good game, but I didn't think they were going to take control like they did.
That's right.
I didn't predict that. And Drew is proven to be a star in this league. Chris Middleton was always a star, but his play, and the way he worked Chris Paul, he worked Devin Booker, and on the offensive end, not only scoring the points when he could, but also getting the other players involved. And we said it. We said, if that team shows up like the team, like the last game when they played the Hawks, the team that played without Giannis. We said, if that team shows up with Giannis, they're gonna take it. Now, I'm not going to count the Suns out yet.
No, I'm not going to count them out neither.
Because they're an excellent road team, and I do believe that their shot is going to be on when they get there. I believe their shot is going to be on, because that's the only way they're going to beat Milwaukee. The 3 balls just going to have to fall.
Well, Chris Paul's had some it's just like he's off just a little. I don't want to get it confused, and I don't want anyone to think that I'm saying he's playing terribly. He's
Right.
not playing terribly. But, lost balls, turnovers, that's not his he is like a
Right.
machine.
Yeah.
And he's had some, and I think in order for them to beat Milwaukee, they got to be on and popping. They can't
Right.
be they're these are two talented teams. And then you got Chris Paul, then you got Booker.
Mm-hmm.
And he's playing. Can't say he's not playing.
Right.
Guy, he's putting it up there.
Right. He's doing his thing. But
it's like Milwaukee's this much better.
right.
You know what I mean? It's not like, which makes it such a great series because they're so evenly. Like I said, you realize that game 4 was 109-103. Ain't no blowout there.
Right.
Saturday night's game, which by the way was really a great game to watch.
Yeah, that was an excellent game.
Yeah, it was 123, 119. You know, these games were there. They were on top of it.
They're right there on the edge of the seat. They keep you on your edge of your seat. I would say the difference between Phoenix and Milwaukee is Milwaukee role players can create their own shot as opposed to some of the players on Phoenix that rely on Devin Booker or Chris Paul to
set it up
for them. And I believe that's what the X factor is between the two. That's how they was able to take that game Saturday night. My heart tells me that the alley-oop dunk to Giannis, my heart tells me that was the play of the finals to me. As a former athlete, you talk about taking the life out of team, especially when you're at home and you were this close to taking that game and having the advantage. And Drew just makes the play of the finals where he strips the ball from Devin Booker, which I thought when he hesitated and did that extra dribble, I think that's where he screwed himself. When he came down, if he had to just stop and pop, he probably would have hit that jumper, but he hesitated to go inside, maybe to draw the foul, maybe, right. But they was able to isolate him, and Drew was able to get the ball. Had he just, instead of doing the hesitation and getting deeper in, had he just popped that little jumper, I think he would have got him, and that would have been the ball game. But, that's here or there. That's hindsight, I know, but I believe that would have prevented that turnover, which swung the momentum of the game. Or the series.
What I hope is just I hope that didn't break the Suns' spirit for
right.
Game 6, and if there is a Game 7, because usually when you watch a series or you watch a Super Bowl, there's a pivoting point.
Right.
When two equal teams are at each other, and there's something, just a little something that just sways other way.
One play can sway the whole game or the whole series. Just
whole series. And that play is arguably the play because either the Suns are going to come out with their heads hanging down tonight, which I don't think, or in the back of their mind. That play can really sit with you a lot of different ways. You could be like, man, can we really beat them? All right, we're going to play good, and then we play good, and all of a sudden they put a couple points on. Oh, here it goes again. You know what I mean? Because it could come back on them. Hopefully that play didn't just change the whole series. Because like I said, I after watching both sides and just the backstory of Milwaukee and the Suns. It's touching. You know what I mean? And you
right.
go, God,
it's good basketball story. So it's like you're kind of rooting for both teams.
Both teams, right? Because they both. If Milwaukee wins it, it's huge. They haven't won one in 50. If the Phoenix wins it, they've never won one. You know what I'm saying? So this is massive. You know what I mean? And it's not to put even more drama on it, but it could be a defining factor of Chris Paul's career.
Absolutely.
Even though I think he's Hall of Fame all the way, there's no doubt in my mind.
Yes.
But it's always first time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if he's not, there's a huge problem. But it's always the media like, well, Chris Paul never won one. I'm just saying.
Never got the ring. He never got the ring. Yeah.
Kind of like Marino. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the yards, all the records, and it haunts them. And you listen to these guys talk, and it haunts them. It really does. I mean, you listen to Kelly and Thurman and them. I mean, it bothers them. You know what I mean? And it bothers Marino. There's probably the list of players that it bothers. It's unbelievable. I'm just using.
It's a nail under. It's something under their skin. It pokes.
Yeah, it's just it's definitely But I'm just using these players because they're popular and we all can relate. But Chris Paul's had a great career. Has not been able to first time in the finals, right?
First time in the finals.
I mean, and here's the killer part. Some of them Houston teams that he played on, how didn't they make it? I know how they didn't make it to the playoff. I mean, I know how they didn't make it to the finals. Somebody gave up. I won't mention any names, but I'm just saying, throwing it out there. But I think, like I said, this is the defining moment. And like I said, if Milwaukee doesn't win, they have great things. And I think the Phoenix, to be honest with you, I think Phoenix, if they do lose and they can keep the core there, I think with a couple grabs here and there, they could be, you know what I mean? They grab them a big man or you know what I mean? A big man that can play with them. They could be, they could be right at it. Like I said, it's going to be interesting to see tonight, who comes out. But I think you're right. I think that play and there was times in Game 4 where in both games the Suns were right there.
Yeah,
they were just couldn't
grasp it. It was inches away,
and they just couldn't do it. And Giannis is he's playing with a whole. We've talked about this before, that we've watched him in the past, and it's the intensity. The intensity is, whatever. And he's playing with an intensity that's just sparked the whole team, I think. And
he is very locked in, and his speech about talking about things you've done in the past, living in your ego. When he said that, he said, "I don't worry about what I've done. That's in the past. That's ego. I'm only forward." I was like, "Oh yeah, he's locked in. He's honed in."
Yeah.
He's
honed in there.
And he's a young guy and he's determined. So, and like they said earlier today on some of the talk shows, we knew it wasn't going to be easy with Chris Paul. It's never easy.
No.
His whole career has been a uphill battle, and he knows it. He knows that this wasn't going to be easy.
No,
he probably figured that it was going to go 7 games. And
that's true.
And I wanna hold on to that. My heart is telling me, dude. That was it. That's what my heart is telling me. But I'm not going with my emotions.
Yeah.
I'm going to think because I gotta realize that this team is not out of it.
No, it's not. It just we just hope that wasn't a defining, and it was a heartbreaker.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That if you listen to anybody that's ever played any sports, any teams you watch, when you see teams get blown out 50-0, they can shrug them off.
Yeah.
It's the ones that they lose in the last seconds, watching it go through the field goal or missing the field goal, or the last minute shot like Toronto, pulled off at the last second. I mean, that broke Philly.
Yes,
to me, that broke their spirit. That was that just was like that ball went ting ting. Yeah, it was like
it hit.
You just saw them.
Any available side of that rim, it hit before it went in. And you couldn't script that. You couldn't script that in a Hollywood movie.
No, and it broke them. You know what I mean? I really think to this day that's still haunting them.
Yes.
I really do. I just think they can't. I think that nucleus can't shake that because they're human. I mean, at the end of the day, people
Right.
do so much. Yeah, we're just human people. And sometimes we just carry things with us for a long
Yes.
time.
And some of us can't let it go as fast as others.
Others, right? And a lot of it has to do with, now we're getting into psychology. A lot of it has to do with how fast you can. It's kind of like playing poker. You catch a bad beat, and all of a sudden you're on. They call it on tilt. But if you caught a hand, the next hand or the one after that, it would shake. It kind of moves it. It kind of moves it. It keeps it out of your. It's still there, but it's not. But it's when you miss one and then you miss another and then another. Kind of like, and I'm going to quote this. Kind of like in the replacement players when he said, like being in quicksand. One mistake, another mistake, and before you know it, you're in over your head. And that happens. It's just human nature. But I hope you're right. I mean, I hope we're right. I hope this didn't break their back. And because I'm gonna be honest with you, I think even if they win tonight, it's gonna be a war.
Well, it's going to
Game
be
7.
more. Game 7 is going to be, everything is going to be left on the floor.
Yes,
Like
it'll
Jimmy
be.
Butler when they played LA last year.
Yeah.
It's going to be, everything is going to be left on the court. And I'm
there's
very
nothing.
anxious to see that. I want it to be there for both players. If whichever player wins, I'm happy for.
Yeah,
But
I could go
because
either
I'm an
way.
old school guy, I lean more towards Chris
Paul?
than I do Giannis. But if Giannis wins, I am 100% there for him because he deserves it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it
absolutely.
separates the whole debate with him and Embiid. That separates that, and and it'll be great for the guy and great for the organization. And
great for the city.
great
I mean, it's
for the sport because now your B-rated your B-rated city teams,
and people want to come and play.
Yeah,
people want to come play just like in Golden State, man. I mean, it's like Golden State. There it was. Everybody, all of a sudden started winning, and all of a sudden everybody wants to go play there.
Yes,
you know what I mean. And they could build a dynasty or just a right movement in the right direction. That's for sure. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean, and that's what it's all about. And the same thing with the Suns. Those fans have been so loyal to that team through the bad times and good times they've experienced. Yeah, I mean, it's just, man, we can go on and on. But look, we're going to pay some bills. I appreciate everyone tuning in every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. Me and Big Lou right here on KM Radio. We go ham. KM Radio, we go ham. It's your boy Tony G and Big Lou. Tuesday night. What's going on?
What's going on, everybody?
What's going on? Hey, I want to thank one of our sponsors, Muddy Waters Bar and Grill, 5000 Benton Road. Go on by. They got a Friday night steak. I think you get a 16-ounce ribeye choice, a prime actually, with I think it's $25.99, and plus if you buy that, you get a $6 bucket of beer. Can't beat it. Go on by and see them. Tell them the Sportsbook sent you. So like we were just talking about, if you guys are just tuning in, we've been breaking down Game 4, Game 5. Two really nail biters that the Suns lost. We were analyzing about the dunk at the last second, about how much, hopefully it wasn't as big of a heartbreak that we think it may have been.
Right.
So going into tonight's game, Game 6, what does Milwaukee need to do to win?
All right. What Milwaukee needs to do to win tonight is they have to bring that same momentum they had when they won in Phoenix. I really think that Drew put Drew back on Chris Paul, because that's the guy that sets up everything for that offense. You got to get him off, because once he's off, then you put everything on Book. But when you put everything on Book's going to drive, and he's the next Kobe, so he's looking to shoot. Put that pressure on him, bump Chris Paul out of his spots. You know what he likes to do: dribble left, go right. Get him. Don't let him get in his spots, and you'll be good to go. As long as Drew is hitting his shots and Middleton is hitting his, as long as they don't refer back to the last playoff series, they will take the game tonight, and they will be NBA champions in their home court, and that whole city is going to explode. It's going to explode. I think that's what they need to do.
I think for Milwaukee to win tonight, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I'm about to say the same thing you just said. I think the biggest key is everything you said about keep the momentum, keep that hunger, and don't let Phoenix get in your head. Right. Because it seems like after watching Milwaukee, if you can, it's like a chess match. If you can get in their head and they start faltering, because Giannis is going to do Giannis. There's no doubt.
Yes, that's why I didn't even say anything about it, because Giannis is going to do him. So that goes without question. It's Middleton and Drew Holiday. Those two. If those two are lightning in the bottle again, done deal.
Yeah. Now, the thing is with Holiday, he can be very streaky.
Mm-hmm.
He can be very streaky. When he's on, he's on. And when he's not, he's not.
Absolutely.
And they need it. And so if he can stay on, there's no doubt in my mind that that's the game plan they need. Now let's talk about Phoenix. I think Phoenix needs to come on. I think Phoenix needs to come on the court and light them up and see if they can. Phoenix needs to shoot like Phoenix.
Right.
Okay. They need to be 87% of the foul. They need to be 80% of 3-point. They need to do what they've done all season. We're not asking them to do anything out of the norm. That's somebody else was throwing me something in the inbox. Well, you're asking. Oh no, I'm asking them to do what he did all season. They did this all season. Now this ain't like we're asking Paul George to do something he normally doesn't do.
Right.
They're not playing like they were playing. And I'm not taking anything away from Milwaukee at all. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying whether it's Milwaukee, they're not playing the same ball. I mean, so if Chris Paul could come out there and be Chris Paul like he was in Game 1 and Game 2 in the other series and all year, and that team shoot 87, they're going to have the best, even though they're off, they're going to have the best free throw percentage in any finals ever. Right. That's pretty big. You know what I mean? So if they can stay that, and I think if they come out and Booker gets going, I think again, I can't stress this like we always said. Giannis is going to do Giannis. There's no problem. But I think the key is if Booker and Paul George come out, Chris Paul. I talked to Paul George. Chris Paul.
I got you.
And they light it up. That's where the pressure goes on Booker.
Yeah.
All right. So Booker, he can handle the pressure. So Chris Paul and Booker, they're going. But now Holiday's got to match it. And I don't know if Holiday really believes that he's there yet. Because at times you can see his confidence isn't there. You know what I mean? He talks a lot. But I think, because like I said, Johnson's going to get 40. There's no doubt. Mm-hmm. But it's the other two, I think they can get. I think by Booker and Chris Paul coming out, lighting it up. And I think, and they also got the other kid. I can't think of his name. I think it could be intimidating to Holiday and them, not Giannis.
Right.
To me, that's what happened in Game 1 and 2 was Chris Paul and them came out there, and Giannis was doing Giannis, but they couldn't keep up, whether it was mentally. I really think it was mentally. I don't think it was physically because they're professional athletes. Right. So that being said, I think that's the game plan that Phoenix has to – they got to get in. They got to put points on the board, stay consistent, because I think the pressure gets to the rest of the Milwaukee team.
Yes.
That's my opinion and my observations that I've had with him. Like I said, Giannis he's good. Giannis. They're still up and coming. By saying that, those are your weak. Those you got to attack your weakest links, right?
Yeah.
And those are your
Absolutely.
Giannis is not the weak link. The
No.
other two guys, they could be fumbled around a little,
Right.
and he needs them to. They're going to have to score 20 plus, and Giannis going to have to score 40 to beat the Suns. There's no doubt in my mind.
Right.
Giannis can't come out and score 45 points, and Holiday score 8 or 10, or you know what I'm saying? Because that's not
Right.
going to be enough. Because even though Chris Paul struggled, he still put points on the board, still had assists. Like I said, he had some, he had some balls he lost. I was really surprised at. And I don't know, everybody, he's catching up. I don't know what it is. Maybe he had a bad. I mean, he's a human being. He could have had a bad game.
Yeah, they are gonna have bad games, and and it's just something about your hiccup. Sometimes, if you don't recover from that hiccup play, it'll bite you 2 or 3 times before you get your rhythm back.
Yes, there's no doubt.
So
does he look? Well, how does Chris Paul look to you? Does he look like last 2 games? Does he look like he's been a little off?
A little inaccurate with his shot. Now,
which is uncharacteristic.
I would say a little off. Maybe fatigue. He's 36. He's 36.
Yeah.
And these guys are bringing it to him. Drew is bigger than him, and he's younger. So he's bringing it to him. Every time they come down the court. I was looking at the stats from the last game, and actually, according to the analytics, Phoenix was actually better in every category except rebounds by 2. And Milwaukee even turned the ball over more. So, and
that's heartbreaking.
Yeah,
that's
you know what I'm saying? And they
yeah.
lost the game. So, and I'm like, all right, so they're going to have to be fast paced. I can't think of their backup point guard's name for Phoenix. I'm going to have to check their roster. But, he's a little lightning bolt. But I agree. But like I said,
Johnson or Payne?
Payne. I think it's Payne.
Payne. All right.
Now, I agree with you. Phoenix is going to have to play up-tempo ball. They're going to have to get down the court, and they're going to have to light it up. They're going to have to shoot. They're going to have to outshoot Milwaukee. They're going to have to make – now, Milwaukee played catch-up last game, and because Phoenix came out in the first quarter and was, everything was rolling on all cylinders. But when Milwaukee kind of, got their groove, it took away from them.
Yes.
When they got the lead, so Phoenix cannot relinquish their lead.
Well, check. Now, you talk about the stats last game.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis had 32. Middleton had 29.
Right.
Holiday had 27. Lopez had 9. Tucker had 3. So you got to get Holiday and Middleton. You got to get them off their deal. But when you look at Chris Paul had 21. Mm-hmm. That was, what I'm saying, he's normally about in the 30s. So there, what I'm saying? I mean, Booker had 40. Now this kid, the young kid Johnson, I like him too. He played like 20. He didn't have a lot of points, but I like him. Booker had 40. Chris Paul had 21. Ayton had 20, and Bridges had 13. And Crowder. I mean, they need, like I said, I hate to put this on Paul George, but Paul George usually is in the 30s. That's 10 points. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, it's not. I'm not saying it was a bad game, but it wasn't his norm.
No.
What they need
going
from
to
him.
have to. Yeah, you're right. He's going to have to be in the 30s, 35, 38 points. Him and Booker are going to have to score close to 40 points.
Well, Booker had 40. I mean, ain't nothing. I mean,
Booker had 40. But
Booker
Chris
had,
Paul is going to have to give us more. His turnovers are going to have to go down.
Now here's something
mentally,
too.
he's going to have to mentally he's going to have to be there because his players like Aiden and Bridges and those guys and Crowder, they play off of what he sets up. So he's going to have to take that shot when it's available for him so that he can get these other players involved inside because they're going to have to pull out to respect it because they know Booker's going to get it. He's going to get his shot, but they need to, Chris Paul needs to bring them out. It's on him to me because you're the MVP, you're the first-time Hall of Famer, you're the veteran on this team, you're the team rebuilder. So it rests on your shoulders to guide these guys to victory. Now, on the coaching perspective, he's going to have to play probably, Johnson or Payne. One of those two guys are kind of like a lightning in a bottle type guy too, because he don't play that much. They don't have a game plan for him. So, one of those two guys are going to have one of those out of their mind games so that Chris Paul can rest and things don't get out of hand.
Well, here's the let's
and in that last game, Booker's sitting. He sat too long in the last. I don't get it about him sitting players longer than needed. And call time out. When you see them hit 6-8 points in a row, let's talk about it. Right.
Yeah,
let's break this momentum up. You're at home. Call a timeout. Break the momentum so we can get the crowd back in it.
Paul played 35 minutes. I think that's too much for him.
Yes.
I think it needs to be more like 27.
Yes.
And because here's the deal. Booker played 42. Booker's doing what Booker does. So these other guys, Crowder, Bridges, Craig, Johnson, Payne, and like I say, Johnson's a young guy. They're really they're gonna have to get a little bit more. You gave us 6. You gave us 6 last time. I need 12. We need to get him about 27 minutes. We need to get him a little bit more of a rest to keep him at the level that we want him to be at.
Right. You can't get 12 points. Payne and Johnson can't give you 12 points combined. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're going to have to give you at least 12 points each.
Yes.
Or
they
more.
Need to be about 20 together. They need to give you 20.
Yeah,
plus.
at least.
That's
20 points.
To give a shot at winning this game. This is where we're so I don't know, like I said, you break down the minutes and you break down, you look at everything. And like I said, Booker had 40, Chris Paul had 21, which is a little bit low for him. Mm-hmm. But, you look over on the Milwaukee, Holiday had 27, 29 for Middleton, 32 for Giannis. But see, they had, now what's funny about the bench, they had how do you say it? Paul Canuck? C-O-N?
Yeah, Paul Canuck.
Yeah.
He gave 14 points.
Off the bench.
Off the bench.
There you go. Yeah, 33. Yeah, that was a win. That was a win.
You can't, you don't prepare for that. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do with that, especially when the shot is on the road. So that was very impressive. And they're going to see more of him. Phoenix is going to see more of him at home. So y'all better be prepared for that. So when y'all shooting street, make sure that you take those long twos count as well, because y'all gonna see more of that guy. And don't think his shot is not gonna be on at home. Now, Holiday and Middleton, they're due for one of those games. I don't want to put that on them, but they're due. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be this game tonight. If it is, then we know. Phoenix is going to take that victory, and then it's going to go back, and then we got a war. Either way, we got a war. But, those guys can't lay an egg tonight and let this game go back to Phoenix. They can't do it. So those guys are going to have to bring that momentum like they did last game and bring a championship to Milwaukee.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's, what's funny is, let me see what we got. Let me see. I want to make sure what the spread is right before the game.
And Chris Paul, it's on you, buddy. You're the MVP. You're the first-time Hall of Famer. You know, this is your story.
Yeah, it is. I know that's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, I guess
And
that's
it's
what the
up to
great.
you to make sure that this is not the last chapter. You got another chapter to
So,
write. It's called chapter
yeah,
7. So it's on you to keep
chapter.
this going. You know,
So they're giving the Suns +5.
because of their road game percentage, because of their road win percentage. They're
Plus
good on the
five. I mean,
road.
that's yeah. But I mean, we're giving them 5 points. So last night they haven't lost. Uh, Five. Well, that was 6. That was 3. It's not a bad bet taking them with the 5 points. I mean, unless something really, really breaks down and Phoenix just gets, um, I don't see that. I just don't see that happening. And then the Phoenix is +170. Um, yeah, it's interesting. We'll just have to we'll see tonight. We'll know when it airs. We'll know when it uh, gets rolling. We'll be able to go from there. Looks like we're gonna pay some bills. I want to thank everybody for tuning in every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. Me and Big Lou. So when we get back, we'll continue our conversation. And we appreciate all you guys tuning in right here on Cam Radio. We go ham.
Damn.
Cam Radio, we go ham. It's your boy Tony G and Big Lou. We're back again Tuesday night. We're talking basketball. We're talking what we thought the Suns need to do and what Milwaukee. Like I said, it's gonna be a great game tonight, guys. Tune in. It's been a great series, no matter what happens. I mean, we've enjoyed a great basketball. We had a great March Madness. We had a great NBA. I mean, really, we've enjoyed some really good basketball, great basketball, this whole season. Um, let's get into some football stuff. We were just talking about it. So I brought up the New Orleans Saints Xavier Howard trade. I know he don't want to play at Miami anymore, but you're saying that the Saints want him?
Well, I'm trying to find it
It's
out. I saw
what
an article where
what I got is it says reports New Orleans Saints likely to be heavily involved for Xavier Howard trade.
right.
Um, so my question is this: with the Saints, do they need that more than they need a true starting quarterback?
My my thoughts is we need a quarterback. You know,
Yeah,
and it's hard. It's going to be hard to replace Drew Brees. We know that. You know, there's
yeah.
no replacing Drew Brees. You know, that's the hard part of having one of those ones. You know, it comes to times where you got to replace because it's one of ones. And I believe that should be priority number one because the defense is there. You know, this just it's just plays that's cost us dearly. You know, but the defense is pretty solid from what I take. Now, yes, he would
Howard
be
would
an
be a
excellent
great,
addition
yeah,
to it.
yes,
You know, it would be an excellent addition to keep the field short for Jameis or to keep him, to limit his time on the field. I get it. But I think quarterback. I'm just a guy. I think you start that because it's hard to get that part right. So I think you're there. You can get quality players, not cheap, but you can get quality players, or you can probably find another diamond in the rough like you did, you know. But I don't know. I think I would go quarterback. I would try to get that part right first before. But I feel I understand where they're coming from. I believe the Saints feel like they still have that shot. You know, I
all right.
don't think they don't believe that the door is closed because Drew Brees is retired. You know, because of especially because of the way when Teddy came in and they was keeping the ball rolling with that. So I believe they feel like that, you know, we're a couple of plays from being in the Super Bowl. I believe that's how the Saints feel. But they believe their biggest threat right now is Brady and the Bucks.
I mean, that's a pretty fair analogy right there. I mean, I would think that would be your in the NFC. I would think that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
but I would go quarterback. I wouldn't say
blow
it up and start over. Just start that process.
Right, and then go from there. I think. But you know, I'm going to say this, and I might eat it later. But don't be surprised if the Rams are in it again.
Right.
Don't be surprised, and don't be surprised if San Fran is there too. There's a couple teams. I guess it shouldn't just be Tampa, because San Fran has a lot of talent. They had some quarterback issues because Mr. G couldn't stay healthy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's the AD of football. You know what I'm saying? He's great when he's there.
Absolutely.
And if they can figure it out and the Rams get it going, and there's a lot. I mean, there's going to be a lot of teams. And you know, one thing that we've covered, both of us have said, you know, it's just staying healthy. So many things happen during the course of the season, and you really, I mean, you know, it's easy to go, oh yeah, this is the best. Now I'm gonna poke fun. For the last 10 years, we've heard about how the Cowboys are the best team on paper. Oh, yeah. And that's great. Yeah, you know what I mean? And that's true. There's been some times where it's like on paper, but you know, you got to play the game, and you got the injuries. That's the name of the game. I mean, the injuries are key. And you know, they added another game this year, which I think I don't know what will happen with that. We'll see. Hopefully that won't turn out to be a turd. Or hopefully at the end of hopefully game 17 won't be just like watching a bunch of second string guys play.
Another preseason game.
Before
the playoffs,
and that
right. Pro Bowl before the playoffs.
Right. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping that it's not going to turn into. But there will be some games that will be just like, you know, I mean, if people still trying to make the playoffs, and you know they're trying to get everybody's chasing the TV contract. The TV contract is just, they become so. I mean, they're worth billions of dollars.
Yes.
Just like the NBA. I mean, think about it. When they got that bigger contract and the players got to get, that's when you start seeing all these huge contracts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it was
players demanding to be in certain areas, you know, because of that. Right. But the advertising, I mean, you can't deny it. And now that they're going to be able to advertise on the jerseys, that's, you know, it's you know, about that much NASCAR, if you will, with the, you know, with the advertising and logos and things of that nature. So, which works for them, but you know, it's just bananas the advertising and marketing money that comes behind that, you know. So we'll see. Hopefully those games won't be, you know, third string quarterback versus second string quarterback that's getting traded next year. You know?
But like you said, you gotta love NASCAR. It's like, hey Lou, you just won, and next thing you know, Lou's got his shirt buttoned up. Somebody put his cap on.
Yeah, I got
STP. Yeah,
Circle K for drink. That when I drink it, you can read it so perfectly on the side.
Yeah, you're thanking everybody from Circle K and STP oil and hopefully it won't get, you know, but I guess we got used to it with NASCAR's always been like that, so I guess we just got accustomed to it. But I will see what happens with that whole thing about the advertisement. But I think it'll be okay. I think, like I said, I'm looking forward to this season with the NFL so much. I think it's going to be a great. There's so many things that still haven't, you know, like I said, I think there's going to be a lot of great games. And just like baseball, the trade deadline's coming up, and they're throwing around some big names. I mean, they even threw around Aaron Judge's name. Now, I don't know if that's true. God. I know, because he just reminds me of a Yankee that will be a Yankee forever.
Yeah.
But rumors and the media get out there and they're throwing away. Yanks won Saturday night and Sunday night. They beat the Sox. They're still fighting for a playoff. We'll see if they can get a wild card. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, like I said, we got a lot of new things happening in the NFL. We got to get through this NBA championship, which we'll find out tonight if this is going to be over.
Yeah.
I mean, once this is over, hockey's already Miami won, or Tampa Bay won the NHL championship, the Stanley Cup, and then we got horse racing is pretty much. We got the Breeders' Cup coming up, but for the most part, it'll turn into quarter horses later in the season. But we'll have baseball and we'll have football, which will be a good. I'm looking, like I said, definitely looking excited about what's going on in the NFL. That's for sure. I think there's going to be a lot of surprises.
Yes. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of these guys that fell victim to injury last season, like the Saquon Barkleys of the world. I'm looking forward to seeing these guys come back, and see what they got to offer on the field. I want to see what Baltimore does, because if Lamar doesn't pick up his passing, they are not, let alone Buffalo. They got to see Baker.
Yeah.
So Lamar's got to improve his passing, and they beefed up. They're going to be a problem in the AFC North. Oh
yeah, they're well coached, well ran. But it's kind of like, we're going to get into this conversation, but the conversation is this, and it goes back to a lot of different things. Everybody wants to switch. They want to switch stuff up, which is fine. They say, oh, that was the old way. This is the new way. This is the future. But when the old way keeps winning, what I mean? At some point you go, hey, when does the new way start winning, though? I get, because you can win. My thing with Baltimore is Lamar Jackson is a beast of an athlete. He's a stud, man. I mean, he is a stud. But that doesn't make him a great quarterback. And it doesn't mean that, and this is why I hate about stuff like this. It don't mean that I don't like the guy. People go, Tony said he. I didn't say that. I think the guy's a stud. But I think in this league, we watched a 58-year-old quarterback win the Super Bowl last year. I'm just saying. I mean,
airing the ball out, airing it out, picking them apart, beating the defense.
That's exactly. He was moving to the right, and then he moved to the left, and then he moved to the back. And then it was pretty simple.
And so just having them switch out. You got to keep that defense. I feel like if you go to the huddle and that defense is not busy, that's a problem.
Yeah.
If the defense is not busy, it's a problem, because you can see what's going on and you can check those plays, as opposed to, running the play. If my read options don't break down, I take off. They can plan for that. They can settle down and dig in when it's that way. So it's like you got to keep them busy over there. Like, is it zone? Is it, what are we doing here? Got to keep them busy. Got to keep that middle linebacker busy, switching up stuff. That defense is got to be moving around.
Some of the argument is Mahomes scrambles. Okay, Mahomes does scramble, and Mahomes does run. But I don't know if you've watched, the man has a bullet for an arm, and he can put it wherever you want. Hey, could you hit the lady up there with the white cap? I got it. He can sit back there. He can throw the ball. I mean, and I think that's the problem with Baltimore is you stop him, and I get it at some point. I mean, if you jam him up, you beat him. You know what I mean? Because he's not passing the ball. You got these wide receivers. It should be check, check, check. Okay, now I'm going to go. Not check, I'm gone. We're like, whoa, what was that? We didn't even check down to number 2 or 3.
Right.
And if you watch Mahomes and if you watch Brady, they're checking down. It's like the last thing they're thinking, like, oh, I'm going to take off.
Right.
And like I said, we'll see. I mean, and like my problem with being a Buffalo fan, being Josh Allen, is he likes to run too, and he has a cannon of an arm. And people, oh, he's big. Yeah, he is big. That's great. And so are the linebackers, which are faster and stronger, and they're just waiting for him to come out of the pocket to crack him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Cam big too, y'all.
Remember the beating? Think about, remember he used to do the flip?
Too, y'all, and he loves to run.
Yeah, he don't run like he used to.
No,
he had to learn. He had to learn the hard way.
He had to learn the hard way. That you may look like a linebacker, but they hit hard.
You're not a linebacker. They hit harder, and they're waiting for you to step out of that quarterback zone so they could crack you. You know what I'm saying? They're just waiting, and you're running. So I don't know. And I'm not saying like, hey, I'm so stuck in my ways. I think you could always add on to stuff. At the end of the day, I mean, it is, again, we'll go back to stats.
Yeah.
The last 10 Super Bowl quarterbacks have been 9% of the payroll. Let's see if the next quarterback who wins is any more than 9%. Again, all this stuff, we can change it. It don't mean we make it, but it's still the wheel.
Yeah.
We could paint it a different color. It's still the wheel. You only can do so much to the wheel. You can make it look all different ways, but it's still the wheel. And offense is offense. You can change it up. When they were running all the, the college plays, and it just took a second for them to catch on. You know what I mean? It was like they didn't see it right away, but once they get you, they get you. And so you still got to have something else to go with.
Right.
Yeah, they're going to be tough. I mean, they're going to be tough. Kansas City's going to be tough. Miami's got so much talent. I don't know what to say about them.
Right.
Tennessee, tough. Tough. Got a great wide receiver. Another, got arguably the best running back in the league. You can argue that back and forth. But yeah, there's a lot of, you can never write off Pittsburgh.
No,
you know what I mean?
Write them out. Even though they're trying to, but you can't write out Pittsburgh. No,
they're well coached. They're well coached.
And Mike Tomlin's going to get that. He's going to get that ship back right. No question. The whole
Indianapolis. What about Indianapolis?
Oh yeah,
none to play with there.
None to play with. Carson reunites with his old quarterback, offensive coordinator. With Frank Wright. I do believe that that's going to work because that's when Carson Wentz was successful. That matchup was what made us, put him on a higher pedestal that a lot of people feel like he doesn't deserve. But he gets hurt just like RG3. RG3 wasn't that bad. He just wasn't a big guy, And when he gets hit, he gets, it happens. But and we didn't, and then, we didn't speak much about it, the whole Richard Sherman deal. He's been released on bail, because of the fact that, it's probably his first time ever getting in any type of trouble of that nature. But that's what.
Wish him the best. Wish him the best.
Yeah, wish him the best. We don't know all of the details. All we know is that, there was alcohol involved, and then, maybe there was an accident where he probably ran from, but, the closest place was the mother-in-law's house or the father-in-law's house. And, I guess they wouldn't let him in. He got belligerent, started beating on the door. Police were called. Neighbors got worried. And then that's why all the charges come up, because you're drunk, you don't want to hear what they're saying. But because of, your record, okay, we can, we're going to find out what exactly happened, and then we'll go that route.
We'll go from there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I said, we wish them,
when that develops, we'll report more on it, and we wish the best. And I hope everything is just a big misunderstanding. It's just that one time where, maybe he had too much, shouldn't have been behind the wheel. Maybe it's one of those things. But
hey, we got another Tuesday night in the books. It's time to go, man. I appreciate everyone. Big Lou, have a good night. We'll see Let's see who's going to be this next NBA championship.
All
Can we
right.
tune off again right here on KM Radio where we go ham?
Damn.